been wide, so it's my whole
Nice.
behind me. I might be able to flash to camera 2, and it's hard to turn this camera.
Look at this man. He's got camera 2,
Camera
dog.
2, yeah.
Camera 2, this man.
Yeah, dude, that's awesome. It's a treasure chest.
That's what I want right there. Your wall right there. I want a whole wall of vinyl right there, just like that.
Well, it's even more obsolete than vinyl. I got the wall of 8 tracks up there.
Damn. Look at you.
Awesome.
I just got a green screen in Photoshop, and I was like, this
Yeah.
And then there we are on the TV that I just put on the wall. I've been like slowly adding to the setup.
Damn, it's
nice.
kind of cool to see that view.
Yeah, the ATEM is doing it all.
Wow, man.
Love it.
Pretty cool.
Back to camera 1.
And he's got the nice fade.
And I got it mapped to my DJ mixer, so I can turn this knob and slowly fade it if I need to.
Did you used to do radio at all, Barty?
I'm currently doing radio.
Oh, okay. I didn't know that.
I through the same microphone. I'm kind of going a little stir crazy because I'm not leaving home. I'm on Power 105 out of Athens over the internet live.
I didn't know that, man. How long have you been doing that?
Did you mean to go live?
Yeah, we're live.
Okay, cool. I just
about 3 years ago.
Okay, good, cool, man. Was it everything you dreamed to be? We could probably talk about that.
It's interesting because radio is all just built in the listener's mind, and whatever your idea of radio is, that's a lot more magical than the day-to-day, but it's still magical. I just don't like to crush the illusion of the magic of it, you know?
No. I mean, I think we all know. I mean, here's how I imagine it goes. You know, if I'm a label, I pay for a certain amount of slots. Those slots, you know, are played every 45 minute on a 45-minute loop, and you know, maybe you have a segment where you can introduce new stuff that people haven't paid for, but most of the stuff is either being paid for by the labels or by advertising commercials.
That's a little more cynical than it really is.
Oh,
so
good,
like
good.
It's a little bit better than that, but it's more indirect. Like, you know, like lobbyists and politicians, they might not directly buy the politicians, but there's definitely things, but there's also room for you know, someone who's really good at social media to climb to the top of TikTok and, you know, be a little Nas X or whatever and just get the biggest hit.
Damn, so that's good to know, man.
What has everybody been up to today? I feel like it's been a good day.
It's been a great 2 days.
Been in the
In
car.
Ohio, the weather's nice. Oh, sorry, DJ KC, I didn't mean to talk over you.
No, you're fine. I've just been in the car. I have to go to Columbus. Actually, I was just talking to Mike about it. I asked what you guys were doing this weekend. I got to go down there for like a 2-day gig, but we're planning on doing something Friday night.
You say down there, are you not in Athens?
I'm in Cleveland.
Oh, Cleveland. Okay, gotcha.
Yeah. But yeah, I've been driving all day.
She's Cleveland-ish.
Ish.
We gonna say Cleveland today.
Yeah, I got to haul a trailer and a truck and everything, so I dropped my car off in Cleveland. I have all this running around to do, so my day's been spent in the car.
All right, it's all right.
What did I do today?
Could be
I
worse.
worked on some machine finger drumming and got my. You're gonna laugh crap. I finished my studio for the millionth time.
Bro, you're gonna remodel it again in a month.
No, man, but you see, I got the new boom arm, so I got the boom arm for the.
That's sweet.
The green screen room and then the podcast room. So I think I'm done, man. Cool. I really, really, really think I'm done.
You sound like Rusty with gaming computers.
Yeah, I've actually been good about that. I haven't put any further investment into my computer yet, but I went pretty all out just to start.
Rusty was like, I don't need another stimulus check. I'm chilling, but if they do give me one, I'll probably get the graphics card.
Yeah, like, for sure. Nvidia's loving all this shit, dude.
Yeah, dude.
But that's what it's there for, you know. But let these companies, you know, make some money, hire some more people, keep some more people, whatever.
For sure.
What time is it? All right, we got 6 minutes. If anyone needs to take care of anything, now's the time. If you're already in the chat, you are a legend. What is up? We got BARTY KUTZ. I'm going to call you Bart. I'm going to go back and forth. We got BARTY KUTZ in KC, Athens, Ohio, DJs. You know, love these guys. But it's going to be a good conversation. Talk about streaming. Talk about dancing and DJing. I always say that never trust a DJ that can't dance. Like, you never trust a skinny chef. You never trust a DJ that can't dance or that won't dance.
Interesting.
What do you think, Corrupt?
I think like you at least got to have some rhythm to the tempo. Otherwise, like imagine a house DJ who's like moving at the exact opposite of what his beats are.
Right.
Can you
right,
imagine?
right.
I would be so mad. I'd be like trying to figure it out.
In my opinion, Fisher's made a career off of literally just dancing while he plays
Really?
his sets. Fisher?
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, I love Fisher.
Yeah, Fisher's amazing, but he plays the entire song front to back, mixes out. It's a clean mix, but like he literally just dances for 4 minutes while he's not DJing. It's pretty epic that he's been able to do that.
It's
Barty's,
funny.
Barty, what are you thinking? He's like, epic is not the word I would have chosen, is what Barty said.
No, I mean, I only know that one major Fisher song, maybe a couple, but Losing It. And I love that jam. I've never seen him perform, but I think if you are so good at your selection, you can just believe in your 12 songs you're playing that hour and have a good time.
Yep. And do it again and again. You do it in Chicago, and then Detroit, and then Cleveland, and Columbus, and then Miami. You might switch it up for Miami, though.
I love Miami.
Yes.
Oh, I want to move there so bad. That's why I decided. That's where I wanted to move instead of Texas.
That's where all the entertainers are moving right now.
To Miami, and I'm like, oh man, I belong here.
As always, guys, if you're in the chat, let us know. We're going to start the show here soon. If you have a question for either one of these guys, now is the time to let us know. Because, well, you can let us know at any time, but, you know, we can fit it into the show at an appropriate time if you let us know now. So happy you are here. Thank you.
And thank you. It's a cool podcast. I've definitely caught many halves of episode. Like, you know, I love just seeing stuff live, especially this time in the, you know, COVID. It seems it's hard to describe, but why just anything live is just more entertaining. So if I see that the show is actually happening, I'll, you know, keep it on, hang out, and see what's happening.
It's funny you should mention that, Barty, because I can't remember if I was talking with someone, if I was talking to myself, but remember like 2000s when like Jersey Shore and what was that show, Laguna Beach? There was one of those like, you know, shows. I didn't watch it, but it was like a reality show, but it wasn't really reality. And there was like that was like really hot genre for a minute. I think streaming is the new version of that, because like even those like reality shows, like people with you know a little bit of IQ can figure out that it's super scripted. So then I think humans that really want that genuine reality, you know, oh, anything could happen, mistakes, you know, it's not perfect. Maybe you're coming to streaming and finding that here. What do you guys think?
Bro, I think I had this conversation with Rusty. He was talking about how like just watching anybody that does anything, whether it's gaming, like doing live streams, like it's essentially just entertainment like you would watch normal TV. And that's, people are like sure, people still watch Netflix and have like their shows and stuff, but even that, like people used to just have fucking cable, and now they're going to Netflix. Now they're going to more interaction of people that aren't like quote unquote celebrities or, you know, famous from movies or something. And we're just like watching people entertain in their own unique way. And it's, I think like that goes back with what Barticus was saying with the, you know, just live entertainment. You can go to Twitch right now and find something that's better than watching, you know, I don't know. I was going to knock The Office, but I really like The Office. I was about to get
be careful, bro.
I know.
We're gonna
I
lose
was
all
about to
our
get
listeners.
attacked. I was going to get attacked real quick.
Local podcast DJ gets canceled for not liking The Office.
Yeah.
Oh man.
I like The
Funny
Office. I just, you know, it's been on there for how long? I don't even know.
It's so good, dude.
Years.
Also, chat, we got the lo-fi hip-hop playing in the back. Let me know if it's too loud, too quiet, and should we run it during the show? I imagine we shouldn't, but if the chat votes, you know, I'll consider it.
Are you on YouTube?
Yeah, we're on YouTube, we're on Facebook, we're on Twitch today.
You're the hip-hop mix.
Hip-hop mix.
You said you have lo-fi hip-hop playing.
Oh, no, it's a Stream Beats. It's on Spotify. Stream Beats
lo-fi
hip-hop.
I was gonna say, I know all the best hip hop lo-fi YouTube links.
Yeah, man, the keys got to get the DMCA free ones, man. I think there's a big opportunity for artists to be doing that stuff.
Yeah, just library music. I read, a decade ago, those same types of producers would just build up a library and sell it to advertisers and, for placement in reality show or advertisements or whatever.
Mhm.
And now just having it, you get paid off the streams. And if you can, be a one person factory that can crank out, thousands of songs a month, some of those will hit.
Get bought up. Yeah, you had a show pick up one of your songs, right, Corrupt? You made you're able to kind of get some stuff going that way.
Like royalties?
Yeah. Remember that? I think the label pushed your track to a TV show and they used it for something.
They put it was like a commercial for WWE. It was cool. Yeah, it was what song was it? Oh, it was My Type.
That's what I said. That's my favorite one.
I need to.
That'd be so cool to produce if you could produce a song that would be a walk-on song for a wrestler.
Man,
That would be epic.
you could do so much with that, branding wise.
Yeah.
Uh-oh. You know when you hear that sound on your PC that's something disconnected, but you don't know what it was? That just happened. Hold on a second.
Your heart just dropped.
Was that the old ICQ chirp? Am I
Uh,
just imagining that?
is that
I'm
what it
gonna get us started then, Mike, on the
is? Yeah,
intro.
go for it. Yeah.
Oh,
What is
Barticus,
that?
I've been asking people if they know what ICQ is, and no one knows what it is.
I
No one
don't
knows what ICQ is. Every time I ask them, they're like, "Oh yeah, we used to use this Messenger or AOL." I'm like, "What?" the heck?"
ICQ? I do not know what this is.
See, not a lot of people know. That's why I was surprised.
Sounds like it's for a BlackBerry or something. What is it?
It was like
Yeah.
Oh man, it's like a neon flower, and everything's neon.
It was like a
Black background.
2-year gap or something between AOL Instant Messenger and Facebook. And in
Ah.
ICQ, you could also use your Facebook Instant Messenger. So it was like covered everything, I think.
It's sweet.
So it was like
All
a
right.
bridge app.
Let's get this going.
All right, Crowd.
Uh,
All right. Stickler for time, this guy.
Thank you guys so much for joining us today. Thursday, episode 35. Is that right?
35,
Episode
man.
35?
Yeah.
All right. We got our DJs from Athens, also in Cleveland now. Casey and Barticus, thanks for joining us.
Of course.
Thank you guys for being here. Oh man.
Thank you for having me.
Just so much to talk about. Like my girlfriend was laughing because she was looking at the flyer and she's like, "Those two guys know each other." I'm like, "Yeah, they know each other and they DJ together. Like, this is gonna be fun." So
That's sweet.
I'm sure B Funk will be here at some point. You can't be Athens DJs can't be around without B Funk in the chat at some point. So.
I was gonna say he always gets mentioned when Athens is in play. But let's start with intros. Barticus, tell us a little bit about yourself, how you got started, and where people can find you.
Sure. Thanks for having me on the podcast.
Sure.
I've been DJing for a long time, I guess, since 2000 or 2001. I first moved from Maryland to Athens, Ohio, to attend Ohio University. And I started some DJ nights around there. The biggest one was probably Dance or Die at the Union, which had a couple years of popularity in Columbus, Ohio. But things kind of, fell apart when it's hard to keep a DJ night going when there's no residents of the city to really promote it. And I've just, never stopped. I've, before COVID, I was doing an 80s night at Casa and events and such. And now I'm a Twitch DJ. So just BARTY KUTZ on Twitch 3 times a week is what I do to stay busy.
Nice. So we're not talking about. So the party you did was called Union, or you played at Union?
There's a bar called the Union, not in Columbus. That's the
Okay.
Athens home of it. In Columbus,
Gotcha.
we were at Kobo and Oldfields on High was the name of the bar at the time. Now
Okay.
it is.
I'm
Forget
gonna
the name
ask
of it.
you. I'm gonna ask you what I ask all the streaming DJs that are having success this year that built their Twitch up. Are you gonna continue to stream just as much if you say get back to DJing live events?
It may not be as much, but I definitely want to keep it going at least once a week. Maybe keep the 3 times a week going. And because I think the success I've seen so far is kind of just in your own expectations. Like a lot of people are having much bigger numbers than me, but I feel like this is just laying the foundation and the groundwork and, the goodwill amongst people. And so why would I abandon that audience? There's people in just different cities around the world that know of me. And it's a pretty small community right now, but I can, recognize the names in the chat. And each week there's like one new regular that introduces themselves. And then, they're just part of it, and just like the same goofy jokes
I
start to
think
happen.
Twitch is a good investment long term, just like building a YouTube channel. So I'm with you there. Mike, you got any questions?
For Barticus, so many questions, man. Do you wanna? Yeah, so I've been really liking Jazz Tuesdays, man. I popped in there one time, kind of, and I'm not like I like jazz specifically, like when I'm playing chess or if it's uh just background music for something. But you take jazz to a whole new level, man, to a point where like I didn't really know you could DJ jazz music. And I'm watching the thing and you're explaining how you have 2 albums going or 2 records going at the same time for longer than a mix, like literally just they're going at the same time. I imagine they're both in the same key. And so I'm listening, I'm like, this is gonna, like, how is this working? So I'm listening 5 minutes, 10 minutes, and then I'm like, oh, okay, I see, it's kind of going off. And you just did this little thing, you just like scrubbed it like the tiniest little bit, like doop, like slowed the one record down, and then boom, they went right back to like just incredibleness. I'm talking way too much about it. You talk about it, man. How do you do this magic called Jazz Tuesdays?
Oh, thanks. You saw one of the special things. I don't even always do that, but I the show you were watching, I had a Keith Jarrett solo piano concert that was a triple vinyl and a double vinyl of Anthony Braxton during solo alto saxophone improvisations. And none of those, they're just such wild improvisers that they don't necessarily have a key center. It's not like this is in the key of C. And so I've found that those 2 records just wildly complement each other in intensity. And I can sometimes tweak the volume or add some echo, but sometimes, most of the time, they're just both at full volume and magically they work together.
That's cool.
Have you been experimenting with other songs that do this, albums that do this, or was it just one time this record was playing in the kitchen and this record was playing in the living room and you have realized that they matched up? How did that work?
I mean, I've listened to both of those specific ones on their own a lot, and I just kind of had an idea. Like sometimes I don't like to plan; I like to just have the records play themselves. And the default of the show is just playing entire albums. Like sometimes I'll play maybe just one side, but oftentimes I'm playing both sides of an album, reading the credits, just saying, "Here's what this is." And I don't know. There's something about those that seemed like it would work to combine, but oftentimes I'm not doing really experimental stuff like that. But I'm not opposed to it. It's just fun experimenting with all you can do with the cameras and the sound.
Heck yeah, man. Experimenting is all, well, DJing is all about experimenting. But
True.
want to ask you one more thing. We were talking earlier, and you might have mentioned it because I had to rework some audio stuff down there. But did you mention that you're on the radio now, have been for 3 years, 105 in Athens? Could you just tell us about that a little bit? Because I mean, we don't have a lot of radio DJs on here, but we always like to ask, what's that world like?
Yeah, that's right. I get to be on the afternoon weekday DJ from 3 to 7, Monday through Friday, and we play just top 40 stuff, whatever. We are an independently owned station, but our playlist is pretty similar to whatever is the top 40 from the iHeart radio stations, even though we are not an iHeart station. And the lucky thing is during when the pandemic first started, I was just trying to figure out a way to do things safer and be at home more. And I already had a lot of equipment, and just a little more investment, I was able to get the radio thing totally done at home. So I remote control the computer in the station, and my voice goes live out, and I listen back on an FM radio. So there's very little delay. There's only the one-way delay of my internet signal upload, but the FM signal is instant. So I just get to spend 3 to 4 hours on the live radio every weekday. And that feeling is just so cool, because when I was a kid, I would not have believed that was possible. My favorite toy was like a microphone you put some batteries in, and if you're in the same room as a radio, you can sing or whatever into the radio. Sometimes you can pick the same station you're listening to and sing over whatever you're listening to. And just the fact that that's pretty much possible, and that's the life I've made for myself as a 37-year-old, it's pretty cool.
That is cool.
Yeah, dude, I still don't understand, like, because there was a time, I'm gonna go too far into this, but there was a time where like Bluetooth headphones from like a short distance, there was like a slight delay. And so when I hear that like an FM radio station and the way like that science, like my brain doesn't understand that's like that science, like the Bluetooth waves are somehow slower than the FM waves, or it's a different you know what? I'm done. We're gonna talk to Casey. And
This
she's
is
gonna
why you're
tell
not on
us-
the radio, Mike.
I know. I would just go on tangents about how things work. But I want to talk to Casey. I met Casey at a DJ battle in Columbus, despite the fact that she's everywhere. She started in Athens. She's in Cleveland now. Been everywhere, but met at a DJ battle. She killed it, and exchanged information, and we've been kind of hanging out. I'm kind of Casey's tech guy, if I can brag a little bit. So if she's
There you
ever
go.
having issues with equipment, I get the call. Been to love it. But yeah, Casey, tell us about yourself and how you got into DJing.
Well, I'm intimidated after that.
No, you're good. That's not what I meant.
Well, basically, I've been DJing for almost 7 years. I started in 2014 when I got to college. And it's a funny story, actually. I remember going into a Red Brick,
Mm-hmm.
and my friend from the band was the DJ there, but he, played on Spotify. And I looked at the owner. I said, I want to do that. Because, like, I was always the iPod DJ, like, all throughout high school. And, but through high school and middle school, I was making mixes. I was making all of the music for, like, my cheerleading squad and, volleyball, like, all that kind of stuff. So I remember starting to play music at Red Brick, and I like loved seeing people react to what I was playing. And that is what made me want to keep doing it. And I was like, okay, I'm going to get a little bored and see what I can do. So I got a little Newmark Mix Track Pro. I had no headphone jack. So like, I just learned, like, I couldn't preview anything. I remember going to Chad Vasquez or DJ Black Rabbit or Discognition.
Yep.
And I was like, Chad, teach me. He just taught me how to, beat match first. And from there, I just, I experimented live. That's where I learned everything is, live, because that's where you're excited to try things. Let's see. Yeah, I've done Columbus. I've done things in Columbus. I've done things in Cleveland. I don't know if you guys know Elite Social Entertainment. They do the bar crawls in Columbus.
Mm-hmm.
I have been doing the bar crawls for them in Cleveland.
Nice.
I've done some EDM music festivals. And I play absolutely every genre of music. I enjoy every genre.
Love that. There you go.
Krupt, you got the first question, man.
Well, yeah, just talk about how important the experience was since you jumped right into it right off the bat. I mean, that's where you were learning. That's kind of what I did as well with my career. Just talk about how experience just made you better and better. And, obviously you had your Newmark board and you probably practiced a little bit, but you kind of just wanted to be live. You wanted that pressure. Talk about how important that is to you for maybe some upcoming DJs that are trying to get there.
Well, I want to tell a funny story really quick too. So when I got that Newmark Mix Track Pro, I said there was no headphone jack. Mike, you know this. I have a little iPod Classic, like the big ones.
Yep.
And that's my baby. I will never get rid of it ever. And I remember DJing at Brony's in Athens, and I would have my little stand. I would have my Newmark Mix Track Pro, and I would have my iPod next to me with headphones coming out of it. And that is how I would preview music before I played them to see if at least the beats matched, which is really funny until I, upgraded to my Pioneer SR or SB or whatever it is.
Mm-hmm.
For me, I mean, everyone who's learning to DJ, they first hear, learn to mix beats first, to beat match. I definitely think that is the very most important thing that you should learn first, because that you can do without all the extras. And all the extras, I just experimented live. Like I said, it's just because at that point, like you said, the pressure. And when you're enjoying yourself, having a good time, you want to try that new stuff. And then sometimes, like, I surprise myself. I'm like, damn, I didn't even know, I could do that. So for me, I suggest live performances. That's where you're going to get the most practice, because you're also going to see what the crowd reacts to and what they like, depending on where you're at.
I think messing up live is important too in the beginning, so you can feel that and what that feels like. And I think beat matching, since you play everything and you play all different types of genres, it's definitely the top priority. Shout out to Richie. Richie's in the building.
What up, Richie? Oh, I'm on the wrong chat. I'm monitoring the wrong chat. Let's see if I can go over here and see what people are talking about.
Go ahead,
what
Mike.
did I want to ask you about? It's funny. You say the Newmark Mix Track Pro, and that's kind of become a meme on this show. Like everyone started on that thing.
Everyone.
Oh goodness, no cue points, nothing. Just I said it.
And turntables is your preferred method of performing music now, right, Casey?
It definitely is. I love my turntables. I love the sound it makes. I mean, I just updated the phase too,
Yeah,
instead of
yeah.
needle. I loved the sound that the needles made. Like I said, I started like my second thing I started on was the SB. And when I first got that, that's when I learned how to, beat match more, use rolls and cue points. Um, and I was actually just talking to another DJ today. I have to go to St. Louis in a month to play. And I'm like, I'm going to drive all the way there because I want to bring my turntables. Yep. And they're like, Casey, you're crazy. Bring your SB and get on a plane. I'm like, no, I'm driving. I'm bringing my turntables.
Hey, you know what you know, right? You got to be on your gear.
Yeah, and that's like my thing. Like a lot of people, like when I started, a lot of people didn't have turntables. And I was actually told, don't get them. They're too heavy. It's too much. Don't get them. I'm like, well, I'm gonna get it anyways. I want this big setup. I want everything.
Yeah. I think there is something to be said about, even just walking in with turntables. I think like you get like, not that people are judging you, but they are, like you get that little bump, even if you suck. You could be the worst DJ ever. This is your first time ever playing music, and you're bringing out. I think you get that little bump. At least you start in a higher place if you bring out turntables. Maybe I'm
bring
wrong.
out like 4 of them.
Yeah,
yeah. Like,
especially.
oh shit.
Even I want turntables and I want CDJs. I just want that big setup. I love.
There you go.
I just wanted to elaborate too, because you were talking about like get mixing down first and then worry about the extras. What do you mean by extras? Is that like the wordplay, the scratching, or are you talking about like other creative mixing techniques? Or
well, personally, I love wordplay. Wordplay is my favorite thing to do. But I mean like probably 3 years down the road, I learned how to roll, like doing loops, with words and then transitioning into like an intro to another song. Like I like when I teach DJs, even around here, some DJs come in and see me and say, hey, I want you to show me a couple things. First thing I'll probably show them, because they know what a beat match already. I would like, try this, try rolling, try setting these loops, and transitioning instead of just going one song to the other. Because I've seen a few of those, DJs playing like words on top of words, lyrics on top of lyrics. And I'm like, that just kind of sounds like a whole jumbled mess. So, try this. So that's kind of what I mean. I mean, scratching in, rolling, looping, just all those extras. That's kind of what I mean by that.
For sure. Transition skills.
I want to go to everybody on this, and because but obviously we're all experienced DJs. We've all had students of some sort. What is the first thing that you would teach to a DJ? Casey says she would teach mixing first. All right, DJ Corrupt's class 101. What are you teaching first to a DJ Corrupt?
How to handle your alcohol. How to handle.
Here's a shot. Take it.
Yeah, man. I mean, I grew up with Magic and Duct Tape and Johnny Benz and Samurai. Rusty. Like, you got to try to stay poised and remember your training when you go into those clubs. But I mean, no, really though, I think organizing your music and knowing your setup and with whatever you use, Serato, Record Box, iTunes, whatever it might be. I think knowing how to find a track quickly, making sure you're using your library to the fullest. A lot of older songs can get lost, and if they're not properly organized, and then your sets are limited after so long, or once your library gets so big. So, and it's easy to mess that up in the beginning because you don't realize, like, once you organize it a certain way, to organize it in another completely different way is going to take a lot of time and effort. So I would prioritize that.
So you're saying work on your music. So work on your library first, and then know your gear. So go ahead.
And with that, I would say also just like maximize whatever music subscriptions you get in the beginning, and download everything from new, old, multi-genres. Even if you're just a house DJ, I guarantee you're gonna need, a certain amount of other stuff as well. You just never know. So,
Barty, what you thinking, man? What's the first thing you're teaching to a DJ who's coming into Barty's School of DJing?
I think like technically the first thing is just taking the same record. It's so easy to do digitally, and mix the same record into the same record, because it's going to sound good together. It's the same key, all that stuff. But I actually had a question for DJ KC, who also was the the first DJ I think I ever saw with the phase system, because I saw phase on the internet and I was like, oh, that says, how do you like it? How's it working? But my question, more preamble. I'm sometimes forgetting what it is like to like not know how to DJ and how to learn to DJ, because I've been in it 20 years, I guess.
Right.
And like, what would you say to a DJ who is like good at making playlists, can like make a bunch of playlists that'll keep the house party going, add songs to the Spotify playlist, like be an excellent Serato house party DJ, but never touched any equipment? Like, what would you say to that person if they're interested in going to the next step? Like, what is the connection from there to being a real DJ?
Well, I actually worked with, you remember DJ Top Knot down in Athens right now? I mean,
Oh, yeah.
I remember doing the glow party at Stevens and her coming in and saying, I want to do this. And I'm like, girl, get this, do this, get this. And what I told her also, I said, you know what, right now, while you're doing this, like off of your computer, off of your iPod, something that like I always had like imprinted in my brain is feel the crowd, which these are common sense things, feel the crowd. And two, like, I will never, ever play the same playlist. Like if I have a song, like Girls in the Hood is my shit right now, I'll play that every single gig. But that's probably it. Like I will never play the same songs. Like I might play 3 songs total, every gig, but that's it. So what I would also do is research the equipment. I would ask people who actually have experience. Like I remember her coming to me saying, what do I get? What do I start on? So this is what I started on. Don't do that. Start on this instead, because that was my second thing. And it helped me out so much. And she did. She went out and she got that. Another DJ, I sold her all my stuff and taught her how to do it. So basically it is get second opinions, get third opinions, do your research, do whatever you think is best for you. And again, I mean, your library is a big key, because no one's going to keep coming see you week after week if you're playing the same stuff every single week, same show. Did that answer your question?
I like
Definitely, yeah. The library part and reading the crowd part, those are, I guess it's what we're all saying, but key things.
Yeah.
I'm actually gonna go with what Bartik has said. I think if you can, like, if I were to say, hey, if someone comes to me and says, hey, I want to be a DJ, all right, cool. Make a solid Spotify playlist. Maybe you start them off with 5 songs. Here's the first songs that I played. I'm gonna hand off the night over to you. Finish out these next 15 songs and make it make sense. Whatever makes sense to you. And it's not so much that they do it the right way. It's that they can explain. Well, I saw that you had this song, so I added this song. And as long as the thought process is good, I feel like that's way more important, because I can easily train someone to do a slow fade. Doesn't even have to be at the end of a chorus, doesn't have to be on time. Hey, here's a slow fade, here's the green button, and now you're into the next song. Continue with your playlist, right? So that's where I would take it. But I think, everything you guys said too is great. And if you guys are watching in the chat, let us know what you think the first thing a DJ should learn from another DJ is. I want to hack back into just general questions. Go to Barty. What was I going to ask you, Barty? Where'd it go? Oh, yeah. Kurt already kind of asked that question. I was going to ask you, do you feel like you've been more successful online than in person? Like, I see the numbers. I see how often you're streaming, man, the stuff you've been doing with B-Funk. Like, is your audience bigger now than before the pandemic, minus the radio?
I think so. I mean, it's really hard to say, because I think the numbers in Twitch, I'm just estimating, might be like 10% of the size of room you would play in real life. Mm-hmm. Because you see people that are playing for hundreds on streaming that that they're in venues that fit thousands of people. So when I have like 10, 20, or 30, it still feels, okay, maybe this is like 100 or 200 people that they represent. And I guess one cool thing about the audience is just finding out where people were from. I was playing a cover, or it wasn't the cover, it was like a version of Ain't No Stopping Us Now by the original McFadden and Whitehead group, but it was for the Philadelphia Phillies being in the World Series, and they were like, ain't no stopping the Phillies, and they're like, we're gonna beat Kansas City, and I was like, yeah, F Kansas City on the stream. And then 2 different people in the chat were like, hey, I'm in Kansas, and they're like, what, you too? And so like I got 2 fans in Kansas City that show up to every stream, and none of us had any idea.
Yeah, I think you and B-Funk do a great job with the interaction with the chat, man. Like, you guys really have, like, get to know people in there. Like, it's fun to kind of watch happen. And I feel like maybe that's something I need to do a better job as. I'm very, like, surface-based. I'm going to talk to everyone, getting a feel for everyone. But you guys really get into some stuff with your chat audience.
Yeah, it's fun to challenge them. It's just like in real life when you're DJing, like you don't want to put the computer screen right here in front of you. You want to have it off to the side so you can, make eye contact. And the version of that on Twitch is the chat. And it took me a while. At first, I wasn't sure if I liked how it looked, but now I have the chat in super big font over my screen that's directly in front of me. And it's like the TV is right where the camera is. So it's like we're having like a conversation because otherwise, it was just no cameras, and I'm just doing that. I'm not going to get, a 7-hour DJ set in. I'll get bored after a little bit, but having, an audience there, even a virtual audience, makes it more fun for everyone.
Does it feel like practice to you at all, or it feels like you're playing a show, or a mix of both?
Oh, a mix of both. It's a different style, and it incorporates the radio DJing style because, radio style is you have a countdown timer that's like this. Harry Styles song has 11 seconds before the vocal hits. So you know how you have like 11 minutes of beats to talk over. And I'll talk over a lot of songs and just totally forget about beat matching, which I think beat matching is an essential skill for all DJs to learn. But then I think they also need to unlearn it and not get locked into like, I'm playing 70 BPMs for an hour. Like you can mix two songs together and then just throw an echo, throw the slow fade, whatever, and take it to whatever energy the room needs.
I agree.
I think about it like a DJ's vocabulary, right? All the different styles, like ways you can go between the tracks. That's like, a different word. And like, when you're listening to a set, that's one thing I pay attention to is like, okay, they did the echo out. Okay, did the echo out. They did echo out. Did it out? Or is it, okay, echo out into a mix, into a drop, into like, getting hype on the mic, into like a hype song. Like that to me is like a really cool way to like, not evaluate a DJ like a ranking system, but just to say like, oh, cool, they did that and they got that in their bag and they got that in their bag.
We talk about the advantages of having microphone skills all the time on this podcast, and that's just another one is the ability to transition in a unique way. Beat matching is important, but when you're making every transition sound the same, or you need to do an emergency energy flip, or it's scripted or whatever, definitely do that quite a bit when I can.
Right. Yeah. Diversity.
And I've heard that Spotify already with their electronic playlist do something similar to perfect beat matching, and it's going to get more perfect as the years go on. So if Spotify can already emulate that, what do you say?
Sorry, Barty, I didn't interrupt you, but corrupt. How long have I been talking about that for? That the fact that we've had the crossfade feature since, oh my gosh, 2000, 2001. And we're just now getting to where someone said, "Hey, it's not going to be that hard to actually mix these things." So that's exciting, Barticus. Could you talk a little bit more about that?
Yeah, B Funk. Let's invoke his name. He was the one that's always pointed out to me that the house playlist on Spotify automatically like start on the one, do a little crossfade, and their tempo is similar. That it just works. And so if the automatic DJ can do that, you gotta, as the real DJ, show why you're different. If train wreck a little bit and be like, oops, I messed up that, let me start it over, and that's going to get the people more hype than just a playlist that can turn into background music because it's programmed by the computer.
True. Completely agree with that.
Casey, I want to come back to you. Your your journey into music started in dancing. You did competitive dance, hip hop, all that, like all over the state. You teach and like do coaching now. I think we talked about earlier in the podcast. You can't trust a skinny chef and you can't trust a DJ that can't dance. So obviously you can dance. Talk about your journey to music through dancing and how that helps with DJing.
Oh my goodness. Okay. Well, I started dancing when I was 2 years old. So like music has always been a thing for me. I was that girl. I remember someone asking just the other day, one of my friends, like, what's one thing you can say about Casey when she was, younger? Well, if you needed a CD burn, go to Casey. I was always the person to burn CDs. I still have a stack of CDs like a mile high. And it's funny. So yeah, like music has always been my thing. And even when I'm teaching people how to beat match, or when I'm like in my head, when I'm playing, like I'll count in my head like 5, 6, 7, 8, which is really funny actually. But like, that's, honestly what I think about. And I mean, if you ever watch me DJ, I do not stop dancing. Like, even if I'm like super intent and like focusing, one part of my body is always moving. It'll either be my leg, my knee, or else like I have some time to dance, I will go out onto the dance floor and dance. I mean, it's fun because like it's my party, it's my party I'm having. So, might as well enjoy it. I'm always, dancing. So just I love music. That's all.
Your crowd will for sure feed off of that too. I mean, if you're up there, constant energy, every time somebody looks up, like, damn, she's really feeling this. Like, it's hard to get, we've talked about it all the time. It's just hard if somebody's just head down, not talking on the mic, not really moving, doesn't even look like they want to be there.